Hey y'all, this is going to be a good, interesting video that probably nobody saw coming. I'm wearing these, okay? How about that? And I'm out here, I'm going to do something that most people would never give a second thought about. But there's never anything we're going to do that doesn't have a purpose. Now over here, this is just one example I'm going to give. You got all the sheepies. They got their sheep tractor, of course, the one Michelle welded in episode 100 on the YouTube channel. And then we also have a electrified net over here. Okay, I'm saying all this for a reason, is that when they are congregating, no matter the animal, typically wherever they have a place where they sleep or where they get their water or where they feed, you're gonna find excrement. This right here, sheep poop. Yeah, you're gonna find that. And here it is, over here. This is why I got the gloves on. We're gonna find more of it. So why I'm out here with these gloves and why should you even care? Now let me back up first of all. When they are out here, whether it's the sheep, your pigs, your goats, whatever the case may be, your cows, your chickens, it doesn't matter. Typically you're gonna leave that poop in place, and we do for the most part. I'm only pulling up maybe 10% of it. I'm literally going around, picking it up, putting it in my yellow poop bucket as you see right here. And the great place, because these guys move every single day, they literally move from that paddock over there to this one right here, where they're gonna go up the side of the mountain a different way. Everywhere they are is where I'm gonna collect their poop. So why would I even go through the trouble? Why would I even care? Because I'm gonna show you what magical stuff we make out of poop. All right, so all I'm gonna do at this point, don't worry, it's all gonna make sense in a minute. I'm gonna take my poop bucket, and believe me, I've used this for humans too, but that's a whole nother video right there. Yeah, we'll talk later about that at another time. But every single day I come out here and basically wherever the footprint of their tractor was, that's the only poop I collect. And I don't even take all of that. Why? Because this stuff is going to compost in place. Like on Patreon, we talked about this rock here. It's basically a burn rock, and how we've been building, it was much, much wider, but we've been building soil on the rock based on good management. And it's not that hard to do. So all we're gonna do, I'll basically get those gloves out of there. I'm gonna let this poop cure in the sun for a while, because we're gonna do something really awesome with it. Now let's just walk over to the chickens and we'll briefly talk about what we do with those guys. Now here's the difficulty. When you're trying to collect poop in the field with animals that move every day, you better come up with some pretty clever stuff. So when you have one of these chickshaw type things, now all the poop is designed to go down through the middle of it, and that's wonderful. But in the past, we've done it with our meat birds. You've seen us do it in the Chicken Tractor on Steroid playlist out there, is we'll literally take and put a diaper in there. You could either put it underneath, which is kind of a pain to deal with, or you can stick it down in there and then put some kind of carbon source and then cover it up for a week and then pull it up out of there. But now we're talking about the ways in which we extract it out in the field. Now, when they're out and about, clearly I'm not going to go after that stuff. Okay, now that we got a good handle on that, let's go up here and talk about what other poop we have and how we use it to make magic. Welcome to my sheep abode. I'm sorry, my poop abode. All right, so it can be any place. But let me talk about what I'm doing. First of all that sheep poop you saw down there, when I fill up that bucket, it's going to graduate to this one right here, okay? Every single day I'm going to add it. When I get enough in here, I'm going to add it in here. So why would I even go through all this trouble? Number one, I need to dry it out, because every excrement that exits an animal is going to be anaerobic. Now, it's one thing if it's out there in the field and it's going to basically compost in place. It's entirely another when I'm going to use it for something that's magical. And when I'm talking about magical, y'all, bam! Here's one of them right here. That's one of my latest piles, okay? Just flipped it yesterday. This stuff is nearly finished. All I got to do is let it come to temperature. But before we talk about all this, let's talk back to the poop and why it's so critical. And the way we're doing it might be of great help to you, so you want to stick around. First of all, right here in this bucket, sheep poop. For my sheep, collected every day, and I'm making sure that I'm moving it around, that it dries out. What you see right here on this bucket is a combination of cow poop that I got from Ben and Denise over at Renewed Homestead, along with, and the reason why is because they don't give their animals any junk. Okay, and that's critical, because if you're putting dewormer in there, well, all those tiny little worms that want to be in the compost pile, they're not going to make it because you killed them all with dewormer. So you got to be careful about that. Here's how I flip it up. First of all, I'll take my little flat shovel and I'll bust it up as small as I can. And then every day, I'll come out here. Now it's kind of light now. It wasn't so light before. I'll take all four corners and kind of throw it up on itself and kind of make something of a pile. Now, there we go. From this point, I'm going to take this poop, which like I said is a combination of cow poop along with sheep poop, and I'm going to use my fancy handy dandy shovel, and I'm going to spread it right back out. I want to air this stuff out before I commence to make a real good compost out of it. I've done it both ways before, but the truth of it is, I kid you not, this stuff works better when you dry it out first. So it seems like an awful lot of work for most people out there doing this sort of thing. Is it worth it? Well, let me ask you. Look at the price of everything in the stores. Look at the availability of nitrogen-based fertilizers and all the others out there. Okay, I think I answered that question. To me, absolutely it's worth it. Because this is my form of everything in compost that is honestly second to none. I mean, this stuff is not even done yet. Look at that. It's fantastic. And we still got to let it come to ambient temperature. Now, what are the other poops I'm dealing with here? So we talked about it here. We got sheep, cow, and then over here, also thanks to Ben and Denise, there's a combination of these wood shavings, and it's got a combination of duck poop, chicken poop, and turkey poop. So I got a whole constellation of poop in here. I mean, we got a whole poop ecosystem around here. So why would I be talking about poop to this extent? Because the poop that you see here will represent, before it's all said and done, the high nitrogen section of this compost. Okay, basically, in a compost pile, I'm going to have carbon, nitrogen, and then a little bit of high nitrogen. This time of year, it's going to be about 10%. So what you see here is going to be the backbone, the 10% of that high nitrogen that is ultimately going in here. And it's of critical value, at least to me, and I learned this from the great Carl Hammer, is that your diversity of manure also helps as well. So there's a number of animals right there. I'm even having, I even have accessibility to camel poop, alpaca poop, and more of that we'll add in the future, because some of these other compost piles were made with alpaca poop. Now also, other things that are going to go in there, it's not necessarily excrement or poop, it's all these scraps that we got from the garden. Over here, when we talked the other day about getting hay and straw that was unsprayed, bam, this will be part of it as well, okay? All of it will go together, and then ultimately through the winter, when we take those chickens and we get them in a more, we're going to talk about this later, where we do a chicken tractor on steroids in a static sort of way, you want to stick around for that, we're going to try to unveil that hopefully this winter. And then we're going to need that straw because it's not been sprayed with Grazon or anything else out there, or the hay that they're going to have access to. All this stuff, the hay and the straw, look, if you want access to it and you're anywhere near Western North Carolina, we're going to leave that information down below. They got a few more left, and we definitely got all we want. And it's going to be available for you out there. There are other people out there doing it, but it's critical that you're using. Now, I can't point this out enough because I've done it both ways. It is absolutely critical, if you can help it, to get manure like this and this that you can use to make this, because if it's ever going to be anywhere close to what Dr. Elaine calls biocomplete, you're putting yourself back every single time. You got to fight off pesticides that probably shouldn't have been in there, or dewormer that's killing a lot of your soil food web all through this thing. So you want to avoid those things. That's why I wanted to do a video, and I've been thinking about this a long time, concerning poop management. Now, somebody's going to say also, okay, humanure, what can you do there? That's a whole nother video altogether. We've done our share of it. And when I was talking about that bucket down there, for a couple of years, that's how we had to do it. You know what? Yeah, that's what you do when you want a lifestyle bad enough. No doubt about it. So, any questions regarding poop? I was going to say something. I was going to call myself the poop daddy, but something like that usually sticks. Forgive the pun. But anyway, all that stuff, consider it. If you leave it out in the field, that's wonderful. If you're going to turn back around and use it in compost, you're going to ultimately want to dry it out first so you can store it responsibly. And then right before you're about to make compost, I'll rehydrate it all, then make my compost. Makes all the difference in the world. And like I said, y'all, this stuff is the bee's knees. I ain't kidding. This is what we got to work towards. And that's why I said a while back, a few videos back, every single video we do, I don't care about algorithms. I don't care about any of that stuff. We'll always have a preparedness component in it. There is nothing that screams preparedness. You may have your beans and bullets, but do you have your compost? And it all starts with poop. All right, y'all. If you need anything from us, go check out the website. Got that new book out. We got a Patreon. We got a ball in this podcast in the world called the Permaculture Pimpcast. Go check it out. Till next time, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion, and managing your poop is permaculture. We'll see you next time.